1 year ago, the Houston Astros signed Josh Hader to the second biggest contract in history for a reliever. 5 years, $95 million. And if you're going to dish that kind of money up for a reliever, there's a very short list of players that fit that category, and Hader is for sure one of them. His strikeout stuff is as good as anyone's. He's just filthy and simply makes your team better. So naturally, it doesn't really matter who was on the Astros beforehand. Either way, Hader makes the Astros bullpen better. But of course, these guys are still human beings, and Ryan Pressly, the man who'd been the Astros closer for 4 years now, I'm sure wants to remain just that, a closer. I mean, it's the most badass spot for relief pitchers to be in. To be the guy to finish off the game, it's a role even more badass now, as teams have really leaned into the whole hyping it all up when they come out to the mound. Edwin Diaz obviously has one of the most hyped up, big, popular walkouts ever, but everyone has these hyped up entrances now, like they're WWE wrestlers or boxers getting introduced. The stadiums turn off the lights. It's become a whole thing, as it's always been. But either way, to no longer become a closer anymore is basically getting demoted in a sense. So the Astros, as they should, felt the need to address Pressly about their plans to bring in Hader, and thankfully he was okay with it. Great, awesome, no issues at all. Woo, let's do this. Yeah, it doesn't matter what Pressly initially said. There were a lot of issues. Really quick, as always, if you're part of the 53% of viewers not subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that button if you enjoy the videos. As after Hader signed with the Astros, the general manager, Dana Brown, said he spoke with Pressly before the signing even happened and said that Pressly was supportive of the move, noting that Pressly would do whatever it takes to win. And it wasn't just Dana Brown reiterating this. The manager, Joe Espada, also spoke with Pressly about bringing in Hader to be the new closer and said this.
Pressly is a pro. He really wants to win. He's a team guy. He's all in. He's all in. We saw an opportunity to improve the team, and he said, why not? What if this guy can make us better? So, but we looked at it. We made him aware, and he's excited about the fact that we added Hader to the team.
Pressly himself said this in front of the media. Watch.
I get paid to go get 3 outs. It don't matter if it's in the 4th inning or the 9th inning. So, whenever the phone rings and they tell me to get in there, I'll get in there. I mean. Yeah, it was a surprise, but I mean, he makes our team better. He's hands down one of the best relievers in the game. When you add him to our bullpen, we're just that much better now. I'm happy he's here. I'm happy that I get to share a bullpen with him. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun time, and he seems like a great teammate. So I'm excited to be here with him.
Like Espada said, such a team guy. Is he though? Is he? Well, skip ahead a year, and we now know
that was a lie.
So the Astros have been attempting to trade Ryan Pressly for a minute now, pretty much the whole offseason. It's been a part of their plans, it seems, and it's for the same reason they traded Kyle Tucker already. Owner Jim Crane isn't interested in paying the penalties for going over the luxury tax threshold, the penalties for having too expensive of a team, so he traded Tucker. The team is close to a deal with the Cubs involving Pressly, and I'm just now realizing the Cubs have basically become the Astros salary dumping squad. We don't want to pay Tucker, take him. We want Pressly's $14 million off the books, take him too. But initially, Pressly didn't waive his no trade clause to make it happen. Now, he didn't explicitly say no. I think it was more about him taking time to think about the decision, as he's been an Astro for more than 5 years now, has won a championship with them. Pressly's wife is literally from Houston. He himself is from Dallas, and they've been living in Houston for years now. It's also the idea he probably wanted to know he'd have a good shot at closing games for the Cubs if he got traded there. Like, why leave Houston just to do the same thing that he wasn't already wanting to do? But after giving it about a week, the deal has finally been completed and he's a Cub. He's accepted the trade. Now, there were some rumblings and reports about how unhappy Pressly was with the team's decision to bring Hader in, which then, of course, removed him from the closer role. And those reports and, talks seem pretty legit. But now we know for a complete fact that was the case, considering it just came out of not only the Astros' mouths, but the horse's mouth himself. Pressly, the horse. How did that term come about, by the way? Did some dude on drugs see a horse and hallucinate it telling him something? How do we come up with a saying that implies a horse talk? Anyway, the same guy who a year ago was claiming Pressly was okay with the move, and if anything wanted it to happen, general manager Dana Brown admitted the relationship between the team and Pressly wasn't the same this past year, saying anytime you take a major league player out of a role where they feel comfortable, it's going to fracture your relationship some. Ultimately, I wouldn't say the relationship was the same as when we first met, but I think there was some frustration, which I totally understand from a competitor. Funny enough, Pressly talked to the media after the trade became official in his car, waiting to go to a parent-teacher conference for his kids, but while doing that, revealed he wasn't really okay with not being closer anymore. So just like Dana Brown kind of walked back his comments from a year ago, or at least admitted that they didn't age well, Pressly basically did the same exact thing. He did tell reporters Wednesday he previously hoped to retire with the Astros and that Houston will always have a really, really special place in his heart, even considering holding on to his no trade clause to stay with the Astros, but his 2025 role changed his decision. These are his exact words. It was tough. You get demoted and then you've got to go out there and be professional and try to lead the right way. Best way I could do that and show my teammates by how I can carry myself. Look, I know nothing about Pressly personally. He seems like a great guy, great husband and father, so what I'm about to say has nothing to do with him on a personal level. It's only about this specific situation, but respectfully, what are we doing here, man? It reminds me of Jimmy Butler's situation with the Heat right now. Jimmy Butler is an NBA star, one of the best players for years now. He's great, but all of a sudden he started to become so public about how unhappy he is. He's missed flights, walked out of practices, and look, I get you're a superstar who wants to win. But that doesn't make you not a complete asshole and douchebag with this whole situation. To a much lesser extent, this is how I view Ryan Pressly. Pressly obviously didn't miss any team flights or walk out of any workouts or anything like that. Don't get that mistaken. He's not as much of a drama queen as Jimmy, but it doesn't matter whether you're a star or not. Like for Jimmy Butler, you're making $50 million a year to play basketball. Shut your freaking mouth. All he's doing is disrespecting his teammates, his fans, everyone in this country. Oh yeah, 50 million and I'm miserable. Like, yeah, tell that to any average person in this country or anyone in the world. Tell any normal person anywhere that you're so unhappy with your situation that gives you permission to be an entitled douchebag to everyone around you and everyone who supports you. That doesn't make you feel relatable or look like the good guy to anybody. It's beyond absurd behavior, and this is a star player doing this. Now look at Ryan Pressly, a 36-year-old relief pitcher. What makes you think you should be able to dictate how the Astros or any team operates? He talks about getting demoted, which yes, to an extent he did because he became the setup guy rather than the closer. But it's not like your salary went down. I get that you're a competitor, but wouldn't that partially mean wanting as many good players around you as possible to win? Because that's what being competitive is about. Winning? It's a slap in the face to Josh Hader. I mean, is that not disrespectful as hell to him? I mean, he's the reason Pressly was moved out of the closer roles. So Pressly saying all this, whether intentional or not, is a full-on F you to Hader. Do you want to win or not? Again, Pressly is 36 years old, and if you look at the stats, you can already see a decline starting to happen. His strikeout rate has gone down 3 whole points in the last 2 years. It went from 12 strikeouts per 9 innings in 2022 to 10 in 2023 to 9 in 2024. Not that he sucks now, he doesn't. He's still good and can provide value. But if a team has the opportunity to add someone else like Hader, who's younger and better, like Pressly himself said a year ago, why not do that? Of course they should do that. But like I said, we now know Pressly never really felt that way. And let's call it what it is, selfish. Josh Hader objectively makes any team he's on better. And to oppose that just because you want to be the closer is selfish. I don't really see how this can be seen any other way. I mean, that's how baseball works. It's how life works. Age catches up to us all. And a team should never decide to not make a move and prevent themselves from becoming better because it'll hurt someone's feelings. Like, come on. So clearly beyond just the fact that Pressly's been in a decline from a pitching standpoint, I guess it became clear Houston needed to trade him also due to the fact that his ego isn't good to have on a team. Like, that's not good for any team to have. A good example of the opposite of this is Garrett Whitlock on the Red Sox. Some of you may know of him, others know, but when he first came up, one of the first things he said when joining the team was that he'd be the janitor on the team if that means he gets to be in the big leagues. That whatever the job is that he can do to possibly help the team out, that's what he's glad to be doing. I actually interviewed Whitlock 4 years ago. Great guy. And just the way he is, that's not lip service. He's telling the truth. Unlike Pressly, who said what Whitlock basically said, that it doesn't matter when I get the 3 outs, as long as I go out there and get outs to help the team, I'm down, before walking all that back and basically just exposing that as a lie. Whitlock has been very consistent with how he is, and it's been 4 years since he said that, and he's still a very selfless person. That's called being a team guy. Now, that's not to say you shouldn't aspire to be a closer or something like that, but at the end of the day, if there are better options, you have to swallow your ego. This isn't tennis. You win because you have a lot of different players doing their jobs no matter what those jobs are. So God forbid the Cubs decide to have someone else close at some point this year. Like, why would anyone want someone with that outlook and attitude? I hope it works out for them. I hope Pressly is happy in Chicago. And hey, I guess it'd be cool for him to go on to lead the league in saves this year, or something crazy, to show Houston what they decided to replace. And maybe he will. Maybe he'll use this chip on his shoulder, even though I don't think he should have a chip on his shoulder. But the way he handled the addition of Josh Hader to the Astros is not good. You're an aging reliever with regression showing. Of course the Astros are going to get Josh Hader if they can. Any team would. Just way too egotistical, and in my opinion, for not a very valid reason at all. Let me know your thoughts, and thank you for watching.